Hey y'all, I gotta be kind of quiet because I'm in a hospital waiting room, but I'm gonna say this right now to all my church hurt people. Do not be afraid to come back to the hospital, okay? I just thought about it because I take my other job. I have to take one of our students, patients, whatever you want to call them, here to the hospital to inspect a wound in a very private area of his body. Now, one thing I've noticed about hospitals, because I've been to the hospital before, I've had doctors and even medical students come in and examine my body, touching my body, and they don't even know me. Okay, and one thing I've noticed about the students and the physicians, nobody judges me on how I got here. No one asked me, oh, why were you doing this? Why would no one ask me all that? They're just focused on healing me. Okay? That's what the church is supposed to do for people who come there. The church is supposed to be a hospital for the spiritually sick, the spiritually wounded, the spiritually broken, the spiritually injured. And if that's you, and you went to a church that did the opposite of healing and injured you further, I'm asking you now and letting you and begging you to come back, because there is a church somewhere, there is a hospital somewhere that will do right by you. And I'm gonna be honest, there's some spiritual leaders out there who are still sick, and that the greatest physician, the great physician who ain't never lost a case, the great physician is still working on them. There's some people who are giving you wounds who didn't even know that's what they were doing. They're so spiritually sick, they don't even know that they were attacking you. But I'm telling you right now, there's a place for you. If you're in Lake Charles, Louisiana, the ETC church is that church for you. That's that hospital for you. You can come in and get the healing you need. And sometimes the healing that we need is just a community. Just a community of believers who are going to see our deepest, darkest, most private wounds and not judge us. We're going to love us in spite of what we've done, where we've been, and who's hurt us. So if that's you and you need that, if you've been church hurt somewhere, I promise you there's a place for you. And above all else, I apologize that happened. I apologize that someone did something to you that made you not want to even come close to anything that has this cross on it. Because that has happened to a lot of people. The church hurt people out there came to church injured, came to church sick, and someone who was sick their own self ran them off from the hospital where you're supposed to get the healing, where you're supposed to come broken. Because if you're well, there's no reason to come there. If you're perfect, you don't need to be coming to church. But if you're not perfect, if you've had some illnesses, you've had some injuries, some bumps, some bruises, if you got some wounds in some private areas that you don't want nobody to see, but the people who can really help you, the church is there for you. That's what the church was built for. That's what God is doing for you right now. And he has put there's a group of believers ready and willing to accept you. We're not going to ask you about that ain't our business. He knows what happened. He knows why. He knows all that other stuff. But the church is supposed to be there to support you. And that's really all some of us need. Just a community of people who will support us and just have our back. Wouldn't that just feel good? Just have people have your back and not be trying to judge you and make you feel bad for something that you didn't even have any control over. You can't control somebody attacking you. You can't control what you were born into. You can't control the stuff that, hit you that you didn't ask for. So yeah, there's a church for you out there. All right? There's a hospital for you. A hospital where we're actually going to heal you and not hurt you any further. I promise you that. So if you're out there, you've been stranded away from the church for whatever the reason was, if you've been church hurt and you don't want to come back, I promise you there's a place for you where you're going to get the care that you need, the spiritual, emotional care that you need. As a matter of fact, there's churches out there who are in a position, to help you physically. Some people come to church physically hungry, physically broken. There's some churches that can actually fix that. We're here. We're here for that. We're here for that. But that spiritual need, because keep in mind, while I might be, quote unquote, figuratively speaking, a physician, a doctor in this hospital, I take all my orders from the hospital administrator. I take all of my orders from the greatest physician who never lost a case, and he won't lose you. It's time to come back. If you're hurting right now and you're scared to come back because you're scared of them church folk doing you dirty again somewhere else, it ain't gonna happen at the ETC church. I promise you that. Okay? ETC church is made up of nothing but broken people who are trying to heal too. Some of us are there. Some of us have healed. God's had to heal me for some things. I'm telling you right now, there's a place for everyone. There's a spiritual hospital for everyone, because that's exactly how Christ designed the church, to be a hospital for the spiritually sick and the spiritually wounded. If that's you, I urge you to come to him. Don't let another day go by and let that injury fester any longer. The choice is yours, and the time is now. Okay? God bless you. God keep you. I love you, and I will see you again very, very soon.